This podcast is produced by the Harwood Productions Podcast Network. To learn more about the network and to find more of our shows, visit us online at www.harwoodpodcast.com.
I'm Cindy Harris, and this is the first of a two-part episode on making s'more cupcakes. S'mores are a classic American campfire summertime dessert where you take 2 graham crackers, a marshmallow, and some chocolate, and you roast the marshmallows so they get nice and squishy, and then they kind of melt the chocolate in between the 2 graham crackers, and they're just fantastic. Well, I wanted to take that idea and turn it into a cupcake. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making graham cracker cupcakes. Now to start, we're going to get our muffin pan ready. I'm using a 12-cup muffin pan, and I'm going to line each of the wells with a paper liner. Now the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of my baking spray, and I'm going to spritz it just right on top very lightly. And the reason that I'm doing that is just in case any of the cupcake actually bakes onto the pan, it will release much easier this way. Now I'm going to set my pan aside and get my dry ingredients ready. Now in a small mixing bowl, I'm going to get together 2 cups of graham cracker crumbs. Now I'm able to actually buy graham cracker crumbs in a box, but if you're not, all you have to do is just get regular graham crackers, or in Europe I think they're called digestive biscuits, and just crumble them up either in a food processor or in a plastic bag with a rolling pin. And then you want to measure out 2 cups of the crumbs and put them in your bowl. Now to that I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of baking powder and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Then with my spatula I'm going to toss those ingredients together, and then I'm going to set those aside. Now in this recipe we're going to be using 3 eggs, and we do need to separate them. We're going to be using the yolks in the main part of the batter, and then we're going to be beating the whites to help lighten the batter. So to start, I've got 3 bowls out, and I'm going to begin breaking each of these eggs and separating them. And I like to have 1 bowl for my yolks and then 1 bowl for my whites. Now we're going to start by beating our egg whites. So in a mixer with a whisk attachment, I'm going to put those into a clean bowl, and I'm going to mix these on high speed until I get soft peaks. Now if you remember, a soft peak is when the tip of the egg white just kind of flops over like that. That's perfect. Now I'm going to remove these egg whites with my spatula and put them in a small bowl because I'm going to be folding those in a little bit later. But I'm going to use this same bowl again, so I'm not going to rinse it or anything. I'm just going to put it right back on. But instead of using a whisk attachment, I'm going to be putting on my paddle attachment. Now if you were using a hand mixer, you could just continue using the same mixing blades if you'd like. Next, I'm going to take 8 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to cut it in half lengthwise twice, and then into some little cubes like this, and I'm going to pop that into my mixing bowl. And to that I'm going to add 1 cup of sugar. Now I'm going to start this creaming, and once the butter's broken up, I'm going to let this beat for 2 minutes. I need for this mixture to be really light and fluffy. Next, I'm going to add my 3 egg yolks, and I'm going to mix those in real well. And to that, a teaspoon of vanilla. Now we're going to begin adding our dry ingredients and our milk. Now for this recipe I'm using a cup of milk, and it can be any kind of milk that you have on hand. Today I'm using a 1% milk, so that's fine. Now to get started, I'm going to turn my mixer on a low speed. I'm going to add a little bit of milk, just a few tablespoons, and then I'm going to add a little bit of my dry ingredients. Then a little bit more milk, and a little bit more of my graham cracker. And I'm just going to keep doing this until I've used up all my milk and all my dry ingredients. And then once that looks pretty well mixed, I'm going to stop the mixer, give it a little scrape down with my spatula just to make sure that that butter has mixed in well with the graham crackers, and just let that mix for another 30 seconds or so. And now it's time to put in our egg whites. So when you go to put egg whites, which are very light and fluffy, into this very kind of heavy batter, we want to do it a little bit at a time. So I'm going to take, by getting about 1/3 of it with my spatula, and I'm just going to mix it pretty briskly into my batter just to kind of lighten it up. Then I'll take the rest of it and I'll start to gently fold that in. And remember, when we fold, it's a very gentle movement. We pull our spatula up and around and just let the mixture fall on itself. And we just keep doing that until we see that those egg whites are completely mixed in. And you'll start to see your batter get much lighter. Now I'm going to take my large cookie scoop. I'm going to fill it about 3/4 full. And I'm going to start dividing this batter into the 12 cups. Now it's important that we put a little bit in each one of the wells to start with. And then once you get some in each of the wells, then we can go back and top these off. Now if you find you have any little drips of batter, just take a paper towel and kind of blot those up. Now I've preheated my oven to 375 degrees, and I'm going to put these in the oven for about 18 minutes, and then I will test them with a toothpick to make sure that they're baked through. Now these look so beautifully golden brown. I do want to test them with a toothpick though, right in the center, and these come out perfectly clean. Now I'm going to let these sit in the pan for about 5 minutes. And then I'm just going to take these out of the muffin pan and let these cool thoroughly on a little cooling rack. Now in our next episode, we'll be filling the cupcakes with the chocolate and topping them with the marshmallow, just like a s'more. Now if you'd like to get the recipe for the whole project, just go to our website and go to the Cupcake Show show notes, and I'll have the recipe there for you. And as always, if you have any questions, please send me an email. I'll see you next time.